Today we will start chapter electricity, and this is first lecture on electricity chapter. First, we would like to say that what is electric charge or electricity. If we bring a plastic comb near some small pieces of paper, it will not have any effect on them. This observation is seen because comb is initially electrically neutral. That means if we have a piece of papers and there is only comb is initially electrically neutral. If we bring comb near to the piece of papers, it will not attract the papers. Now, when the comb is rubbed with dry hair, then comb gets electric charge. When this electrically charged comb is brought near the pieces of paper, the comb exerts electric force on the tiny pieces of paper, and the comb attracts these small pieces of paper. So what happened here? When the comb is electrically neutral, it has no property to attract the piece of paper. But when the comb is rubbed with the dry hair, it gets electric charge. It has now acquired the property to attract small pieces of paper, very tiny pieces of paper. If it is kept near the comb rubbed with dry hair, then it has the property to attract the paper. Similarly, when a glass rod is rubbed, with silk cloth, then glass rod acquires the ability to attract the small pieces of paper and is said to have electric charge, and it is said that it is electric charge. On the other hand, if an ebonite rod rubbed with woolen cloth, then ebonite rod also gets the property to attract the small pieces of paper and is said to have electric charge. So this is all about the electric charge. Now, types of charge or types of electric charges. On the basis of various experiments, it has been found that the charges are of two types. First is positive charge, second is negative charge. By convention, first, the charge acquired by a glass rod, that is, when it is rubbed with silk cloth, is called positive charge. Second, the charge acquired by an ebonite rod when the rod is rubbed with woolen cloth is called negative charge. So by convention, these are the two charges. The charge acquired by glass rod is positively charged, and the charge acquired by ebonite rod is called negative charge. Properties of electric charge. There are two important properties of electric charge. First property is positive charges, or you can say it unlike charges. Opposite charges or unlike charges attract each other. Opposite charges or unlike charges attract each other. Means if there is a positive charge and there is a negative charge, these two charges will attract each other. Second property is similar charges or like charges or like charges repel each other. For example, if there are two positive charge, these two positive charge is brought together, they will repel each other. And similarly, if there are two negative charges and brought closer to each other, they will repel each other. Next is unit of charge. In terms of magnitude, how we will define the charge. What is the charge? The SI unit of charge is coulomb. The SI unit of charge is coulomb, and coulomb is represented by the letter C. Capital C, it is represented by capital C letter. Definition of 1 coulomb. 1 coulomb is that quantity of electric charge which exerts a force of 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton on an equal charge placed at a distance of 1 meter from it. That when the two charges are equal charges are held together at a distance of 1 meter, then it appears that the force exerting between the two charges is found to be 9 into 10 power 9 Newton. Then it is said that these two charges each one is of 1 coulomb. Note, 1 coulomb is a very big unit. Later on, we will discuss how much big is 1 coulomb. 1 coulomb is a very big unit, a very big quantity, and we will compare it that how much is this quantity, how much big is this quantity, 1 coulomb. Important points. All the matters contains protons and electrons. We know very well that in universe all the matter contains protons and electrons. Protons are positive charged particles, while electrons are negatively charged particles. Charge on each proton is equal to plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and charge on electron is equal to minus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, plus for proton and minus for electron. Magnitude will remain same, 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. While we are talking about proton, then it is said that positive 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and for electron it is minus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Example 1. Calculate the number of electrons constituting 1 coulomb of charge, or we may say that 1 coulomb charge is equal to how many electrons, or we can say that in 1 coulomb of charge how many number of electrons. Solution. There is a formula. We know that Q is equal to Ne. Here capital Q is equal to Ne. Capital Q is equal to charge. It denotes the charge, and in this example charge is 1 coulomb. Thereafter E represents charge on electrons, that is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Here it is not mentioned minus, because in numerical there is no need of this minus sign, because we have to concern about the magnitude of electron. We have to calculate the number of electrons, so N. Formula is Q is equal to Ne, therefore N is equal to Q upon E. That is number of electrons. N is equal to Q is 1 coulomb and N is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. 10 to the power minus 19 is brought to the numerator. It becomes 10 to the power plus 19, and this coulomb unit cancels each other. 1 power brought with 1 here, so it becomes 10 upon 1.6. When 10 is divided by 1.6, it is found to be 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. Mean billions of electrons. 10 to the power 9 is billions, and you can imagine that 10 to the power 18 electrons. So 1 coulomb charge is equal to this number of electrons. 1 coulomb charge is equal to 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. Thus 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons taken together constitute 1 coulomb of charge. Now from this example it is clear that how much big is this 1 coulomb. There are two more examples. Example 2. Calculate the number of electrons constituting 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb of charge. Now I have taken here charge, the amount of charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. In the first example it was 1 coulomb. Now I have taken a very meager, very small charge. Again applying the same formula, Q is equal to NE. Q is equal to charge, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb in this example. Again E is equal to charge on electron, that is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Again there is no need to put minus sign because we have to concern about the magnitude of the electron charge. And we have to calculate, that is number of electrons. Again Q is equal to NE, therefore N is equal to Q by E. Therefore N is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, which gives us 1 electron. That means if there is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb of charge it has only 1 electron. So this is the comparison of coulomb with number of electrons. Thus 1 electron taken together constitute 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb of charge. One more example. How many electrons are there in 100 coulomb of charge? I have taken here, that is the big amount of charge, that is 100 coulomb of charge. So in that 100 coulomb of charge, we want to get how many electrons are there. Again, apply the same formula. Q is equal to NE. Q denotes the charge. E denotes the charge, electron charge, and N is the number of electrons. So N is equal to Q by E. 100 C means 100 coulomb upon 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Again, bring this 10 power minus 19 to the numerator, it becomes 10 to the power plus 19. Solving this, we have 6.25 into 10 to the power 20 electrons. That means 100 coulomb of charge has number of 6.25 into 10 to the power 20 electrons. This much of electrons has 100 coulomb of charge. The example 1 shows that 1 coulomb is equivalent to the charge contained in 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. Thus 1 coulomb is a very big unit of charge, or we can say that coulomb is ultimately a very big unit of charge. Next topic is conductors and insulators. Conductors. The substances through which electric charge flows are conductors. Very simple definition. The substances through which electric charge flows are called conductors. But the flow of electric charges is called electricity. When the charge is flowing, that constitutes electricity. So on the other hand, we can say conductors, or we can define conductors also in the other manner, that those substances through which electricity can flow are known as conductors. Those substances through which electricity can flow are known as conductor. So in terms of charge or in terms of electricity, you may define conductors. For example, all the metals like gold, silver, copper, aluminium, cobalt, nickel are the conductors. Mercury is the liquid metal through which the electricity passes. Mercury is the good conductor of electricity. Here is an example. You have seen that cable wire, electric cable wire, which often seen in our houses. There are small thin copper wires are there. So copper wires are the conductors, and the plastic cover through which all these copper wires are covered is called insulator. So insulator, because insulator does not allow to pass the electricity or electric current, so we are safe. We can touch, we can keep this rubber wire in our hand. So this is an example of insulator and conductor. Another one is insulators. Really the opposite of the conductor is insulator. Opposite means the substances through which electric charge does not flow. If the charge flows, are called conductors. If the charge does not flow, are called insulators. In other words, those substances through which electricity cannot flow are called insulators. For example, rubber, plastic, paper, dry wood, etc. are the examples of insulators. So this is all about the electricity, what is the charge, and conductors and insulators. So today we are going to wind up this lecture here, and this lecture constitutes 5 pages, page number 1 to page number 5. Thank you.